girl, I need some joy. Because that book, it was scripted. It took me through that, okay? What's up, book beauties? Welcome back to my channel. It's Quita and I'm back with another video. So y'all, today we are going to be doing this look as we talk about some books. Happy Halloween. Orange is only 15. So listen, we are going to be talking about the most gruesome books that I have ever read, y'all. Yes, I read them, so you do not have to, but these scenes are like in my head. Like, I wish I could forget that. I wish that I did not experience that. Like, but because I experienced it, y'all got to experience too. And it's Halloween, so let's get into it. Wait a minute. Go ahead, like the video. You're gonna like the vibes. If you are a new girl, go ahead and subscribe. Right now. Thumbs up. You're gonna like the vibes here because we get into it. Let's go ahead and start. First up, we have Pretty Girls by Lauder. Y'all, this book came highly recommended, so I picked it up. And I'm going to be honest, your girl was disappointed, okay? I think the main reason why I was disappointed was because of the title, Pretty Girls. You know, I'm thinking there's going to be some glitz, some glamour. It was none of that. And I think that my mind just could not put together the name of the book compared to what really was going on. I'm doing a lazy girl cut crease today because it's going to be dark where I'm going. Nobody's going to be clocking for my eyeshadow. But anyway, so we have three sisters. One of the sisters got kidnapped when she was like a teenager. I think she was like 17, 18 years old. She got kidnapped and she just was vanished without a trace. They had no idea where she went, who would have wanted to take her. Girl, nothing. She was just gone. So you had two other sisters left and they just never seen eye to eye, mainly because one of the sisters said that the dad tried to rape her when they were growing up. Now the other sister was like, nah, daddy didn't do that. I don't believe you. Well, this caused a rivalry between the two sisters because it was like, oh, I don't like that sister. She made up a lie. The other sister's like, I don't like that sister. She did not believe me. So they never got along. As they get older, they start working together to figure out what happened to their sister that was growing up. Even then, the relationship was very much estranged. And then at the end of the book, I guess kind of a spoiler, but not really, they find out who was doing it. And they found a video like library of so many girls being abducted, so many girls being SA'd, and it was just so gruesome. Now, what I didn't like about it in Pretty Girls is that the entire book was dull. And then it was just kind of like you pop that in as an afterthought. I don't know. It's just the title of the book combined with how we got there. It wasn't interesting at all. Even though it wasn't very interesting, it definitely made one of the top gruesome books just by what they were doing to those young girls on the video. Terrible. No one should have to go through that. And unfortunately, they give people that do that to us, and I say us because I'm a female too, but they give those people so little time and they're often back out of jail on the streets. Give them the death penalty.
Lock them up.
They should not be able to walk the earth with normal people. It shouldn't be a thing. Next up, we have God of Malice. Y'all, this book got real crazy real quick. And I don't think I appreciated it at the end, truthfully. But let me tell y'all. So in God of Malice, we have this girl at literally the very beginning of the book. Like, it just started. She's contemplating suicide because her friend has just died somehow. So we don't know how the friend has died, but we know the friend is dead and we know that she is feeling bad about it. So she's on the edge of a cliff thinking about killing herself. Now the girl said she was thinking about it. She ain't know just yet. But as she's on the edge of the cliff, her eyes is closed, like a flash of lighting goes across her face. And so she slips and almost fall backwards. Now this guy saves her. You may be thinking, yay, we have a hero in the story. Wrong. This guy holds her over the edge of the cliff, making her beg for her life. He has a cigarette, he's blowing smoke in her face, and he's just like, girl, you gonna have to beg me. for me to save you. So she was reluctant at first, but eventually she just said, you know, whatever he wanted her to say. And so he pulled her off the cliff, but he was like, now you have to thank me for saving you. So she's like, okay, what you want me to do? Y'all, why this man made her give him oral sex? Yes, forced her. Not just convinced her or manipulate her. No, he forced her to do that. Then took a picture of it. Tell me that ain't crazy. Now, he got this picture. He's blackmailing her to make her fall in love with him. And y'all, I couldn't come back from that. I didn't see the romance in that at all. I cannot come back. This series, I think, have like 7 or 8 books. That was enough for me. I read that one book, was done with the rest of the books, did not care to go on. Another shock factor did come into play at the end of the book about that guy, you know, the friend that died that she wanted to jump off the cliff for him. Okay, that was shocking, but it just wasn't enough for me to understand how she fell in love with this man after that. Now, okay, listen. It's another book coming up, and you're going to be like, girl, you accepted that? I know. But this writing style, it wasn't enough to convince me that you love this man after that. It just wasn't enough. But let's continue. I really don't like these lashes, but we going to make do with what we got. Okay, next book. So the next one is Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. And y'all, this book pissed me off so quick. Like, okay. Let's talk about it. This book is about a young lady. She is on the run from something, right? And while she is on the run, she finds different men. She sleep with them. She con them. And she like take their credit cards and stuff, pull the money off, and pretty much fraud them. But baby, she met the wrong man. You hear me? She met this man. I need some more. She met this man and she, again, slept with him, stole his credit card. Well, boom. This man then found out who she was, ran into her again, like, oh, yes, I really want to take you on a date. I really enjoyed, you know, time with you, which they both did. So in her mind, she's like, oh, well, he doesn't know that I'm the one that committed the fraud. So, okay, sure, we did have a good time. We're going to go out on this little date, and he's going to take, like, a boat ride. We're going to do a boat ride. Y'all. Now, the whole time, I'm screaming, you better not get on the boat with this man. But she did it. So, while they're on the boat ride, he, pretty much, yeah, he SA'd her. What made it stick out in my mind, so like I'm not gonna forget this, is how he did it. Okay, so they're on the boat and he bends her over to where her face is like almost touching the water, right over the boat. So imagine a boat that's clearly not too high if her face can go over to the water. He has like cut her or punched her or something. I think he cut her with the knife is what I want to say. He cut her with the knife so she's bleeding. It's sharks out there. So now she is petrified. Like, oh my God. Either he's about to kill me or these sharks are going to kill me. They end up being shipwrecked. They got into some bad weather. End up being shipwrecked. And now they're on this island where they have to live together and honestly protect each other's lives at some point. So the stories, I guess you can kind of say they were trauma bonded and they got past what he did to her. But in my mind, I don't think I could have got past that. Like, what y'all think? Do you think if a man cut you and held you over, like to where you can get attacked by sharks, would you be able to forgive him and fall in love? I don't know. I don't see me. Yeah. I don't see me coming back from that. Next up, we are going to get into Haunting Adeline, part 1 and part 2. Do you really like books if you don't know about Haunting Adeline? I don't know. Okay. So listen, this was my first ever dark romance, and I thought that I was going to fall in love with dark romance, but I did not. I have yet to read another dark romance that made me fall in love with it. Like, these other books, but this one, this the one. I don't know how in the world I end up liking this book, considering, girl, you about to see. So this book follows Adeline. Adeline has just moved into her family home. Her grandmother died, and so she was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move back into this family home. Well, while she's in this family home, she finds little secrets about her family's past, but the book is also mainly the disturbing part is going to be about how Adeline gets a stalker and she falls in love with her stalker. Like, this man showed up, he just started like stalking her. He wouldn't do anything to her for a while. He would just kind of like stand outside her house in the rain with a hoodie on. So she didn't know how he looked. She just knew, like, low key, he built kind of fire. Like, I'm kind of liking it a little bit, which is weird. But she also was just kind of like, wait, this is creepy. This is scary. He somehow has access to my phone number to text me. He knows where I live at. He can pop up anytime he wants. He has been inside her house, like, leaving roses or single rose and stuff like that. So she's just kind of like, wait a minute, who is this man and why is he so interested in me? I'm gonna fix it, y'all, don't clock me. But the most disturbing part about Haunting Adeline part 1 is that, okay, so far he has been outside the house watching her from a distance, but one day he comes inside the house. So she's scared. She's running, out the house away from this man. But of course, he's strong, he's fast, and he ends up catching her. When he catches her, he makes her suck his gun. You heard me right. That's what he did at first. And then it escalated to where he entered the gun into her hoo-ha and made her finish with the gun. By far, one of the most craziest scenes I have ever read in a book. That is insane. Could you imagine? But the crazy part about it, and I think I kind of like this book, like what made me like this book, is that it was kind of consensual. Yeah, she was saying, oh, I'm scared, I'm terrified, and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, she was still turned on. Like, her inner dialogue was like, oh my God, I shouldn't like this, but I do. So it was, yes, it was Estee. It was, because she did not invite him into the home. She did not say, hey, let's start this. But as it was happening, she is totally down for it. She's in between scare and enjoyment. And so that's when I realized, like, okay, this girl got a kink. She got a fear kink. She likes this type of stuff, really. But yeah, that's Haunting Adeline part 1. So crazy. Truthfully, I do not know why Haunting Adeline part 2 was even categorized as dark romance. This is in a whole different genre of its own, girl. Maybe crime? I don't know. But it wasn't no romance in here, not for real. It was just straight gruesomeness. Let's get into why. Before we get into book 2, let's talk about the ending of book 1. We find out that Zaid, this crazy stalker boyfriend, he actually is a nice guy. He actually stops human trafficking. So that's what he does for a living. That's why he was so good at technology, breaking into her phone, her cameras, things of that nature. Now, Zaid is trying to take down a huge human trafficking ring, and the human trafficking ring kidnaps our main girl, Adeline, y'all. It was crazy. So, book 2, it looks the exact same. The only difference is the one and the 2 girls. But book 2 starts off with Adeline being kidnapped. Now, while she's at this place, some crazy stuff was happening. The girls that are being trafficked, they are like lined up. They have to take really good care of themselves, and pretty much they have to be top notch at all times. Well, this one girl, she has moles that grow. And so she had a mole that was growing on her face, and the head lady, the HIBC, was like, girl, why do you have a mole growing on your face? She was like, well, it's because I was sick. I had the flu. And she's like, but are you still sick? So the girl's like, no, I'm not sick anymore. I got well last night. And so she was like, well, you had time to get this mole together. So she calls in her brothers, who are like the reinforcers for the human trafficking ring, and he cuts the mole off the girl's face. It was terrible. And so Adeline, she tries to speak up for the girl and was like, well, aren't you just making her uglier? And so it was like, wait, what you say, girl? So he pinned poor Adeline down and he raped her. Oh, can I say that? Girl, I ain't monetizing them right now anyway. But he SA'd her. And it was the saddest thing. It was the saddest thing. The stuff that these girls had to go through. Like, they had something called the culling. And during the culling, they pretty much had to like run from these group of men that came in. That was, one, they were hunters, and then two, they were buyers. So they were looking for like the toughest girls. Like, if you could survive the culling, like outside running from these men that are hunting you down, if you could survive that, they felt like, oh, I want you, which that's a whole nother story in itself. But definitely when that girl got that mole cut off and then poor Adeline got raped, that one lives rent free in my head. I hate that. But you know what? I read it, so you don't have to. We can just talk about it. Drop some comments. Last up, but definitely not least, is The Girl Next Door. I mentioned this book in my last video. I told y'all that it was a drag, it was boring, and I was just waiting for the wow factor to make me feel like, okay, I should recommend this book. I'm going to tell you now, I do not recommend the book. It was gruesome as heck. This book was so sickening. Now listen, how I found this book was, I went on TikTok because I wanted to see the most darkest books, right? And this book just took the cake, honey. I put that thing on 2 speed because it was an audiobook. I sped it up 2 times. That man was talking so slow, dragging out the story so long. Baby, let's speed it up. Let's finish. And y'all, the book just got more and more gruesome. It was terrible. So The Girl Next Door is about this girl. Her mother and father died in a car crash. Her and her sister survived, but when they survived, they had to go live with their aunt. Now, their aunt had like 3 boys, and they were very like chill and stuff at first. Like, they were reckless and all that stuff, but they start following the auntie lead. Like, the auntie started being very mean to them. She wouldn't let them eat and just like weird stuff like that, right? And so the auntie, she just kept amping up her antics, and her 3 boys was following her suit, as well as the neighbor was following suit. So now, you know, you have these 2 little girls. One of them is like handicapped from the wreck, but the other one is just fine. And she's pretty. She's a really pretty girl from how they describe it in the book. So I'm guessing the auntie may have some jealousy there, but regardless, she was just crazy too. Yeah, she was just crazy too. But the auntie, she knew that these little boys were interested in this girl physically, right? So she would let them do stuff like watch her get naked and stuff, but she wouldn't let them touch her initially. The scene, most definitely, 2 scenes stands out in my head that was so gruesome. And it was where they had made her get naked, they beat the girl, and then they hung her from the ceiling, like her hands up from the ceiling, and they put books like underneath her. And so they start pulling the books like slowly, so that she was just kind of like in so much pain. It seemed like she was about to die, you know. They were just they were just so wrong. And so then also when she was trying to escape, they was beating that girl. That's all I can say. They were beating that girl. The handicapped sister, she was getting beat too, but not as much as the normal one, because she was oftentimes like take licks and stuff for that sister. But they was beating the sister, the auntie, the 3 sons. the next door neighbor, he wasn't beating her, but he was just kind of standing by looking and not getting help, not telling his parents or anything like that. And he didn't tell because he knew that at first he didn't tell because he didn't know, like, oh, well, she's an adult, so she must be doing the right thing. But as it got crazier, he didn't tell because he didn't want to, like, stop going over her house. It was just, why do you want to be over there to begin with? It was just so weird. And then on top of that, the other neighborhood kids start joining in, coming over to their house, going down to their basement just to beat that girl. It was sick. Like, that book was so sick. And at the very end, I don't want to ruin it in case y'all want to. The whole book was a drag. Let's just say that. The entire book was of nothing but of those girls getting beat and he trying to decide if he's going to tell or not. And then at the very end, I just was like, what did I just read? Why did I listen to that? So I personally, I don't say read it. I don't say listen to it. It was dark. That book took the cake. Like, y'all know I'm a thriller girl. I love thrillers, but I don't even want to read nothing thrilling. I don't want to read nothing scary. I think I want to go on to Happy Land as my next book. Girl, I need some joy because that book, it was script. It took me through that. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. It was sick. So this is the finished look. Thank you all so much for sticking around with me as we talked about some of the darkest stuff ever, right? So listen, if you have made it thus far, girl, go ahead and like, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye. So the next one is